Hey, I'm Stephanie, and welcome to Wine Club. This is a place where I drink good wine while I whine about bad books. And today's offender is unfortunately The Spare Room by Andrea Bartz. Now, warning, there are going to be spoilers and shit talking in this review. If that is not your varietal, you probably will not like this video. Now, if you do want a spoiler-free version of this review, please check out my What I Read in March video. I also want to say that this review is solely about the work and not about the author as a person. I'm sure she's absolutely lovely. And I'm sure she's absolutely mad that her sister wrote a book that I liked better. But let's go ahead and see what this promised to be about. Kelly's new life in Philadelphia has turned into a nightmare. She's friendless, wonder why, and jobless, and the lockdown has her trapped in a tiny apartment with a man she gave up everything for, who's just called off their wedding. The only bright spot is her newly rekindled friendship with her childhood friend Sabrina, now a glamorous best-selling author with a handsome, high-powered husband. When Sabrina and Nathan offer Kelly an escape hatch, volunteering the spare room in their remote Virginia mansion, she jumps at the chance to run away from her old life. There, Kelly secretly finds herself falling for both her enchanting hosts, until one night, a wild and unexpected threesome leads the couple to open their marriage for her. At first, Kelly loves being a part of this new, risque world. But when she discovers that the last woman they invited into their marriage is missing, she starts to wonder if they could be dangerous, and if she might be next. Packed with Andrea Bartz' signature tension, twists, and toxic relationships, The Spare Room marks an edgy, boundary-pushing new direction from the master of the feminist thriller. Okay, book blurb, whatever you say. So, like I said, I read Julia Bartz's, who is Andrea Bartz's sister. I read her book, The Writing Retreat, and I fully went into that expecting to hate it and absolutely ended up loving it just because it was so unhinged and totally wild. Like Julia's book, this too was unhinged and totally wild, but I did not end up loving it. This was unhinged and wild in a bad way. This was absolutely ridiculous, and not even in a it's so bad it's good kind of way. This was just bad. I honestly wanted to strangle Kelly. Oh my god. She was an insufferable main character. She's either whining because she misses Mike, her fiance, who basically said he's not ready to get married and they need time apart. And then she needs someone to love her and snooping through everyone's stuff. And yet when she finds what she's looking for, like, oh no, this can't be real, and goes back to ignoring obvious red flags. Or she's thinking that Nathan and Sabrina are flirting with her, and wow, she loves being in a throuple. She'll be the best partner ever, even better than their last one who's now missing. Like, can't that loser see that she, Kelly, has won by getting Nathan and Sabrina? It's kind of gross, and I hate Kelly. I truly could not take her seriously. There is a point where Kelly talks about her flaws and insecurities being like a gremlin, and that's honestly how I started to picture her as the character. She is this nasty little golem running around and begging for people to love her. She is so inconsistent, so petulant, and just so weird about absolutely everything, and acts like she has never been around human beings ever before. Like, I actually started to wonder if she was going to become the villain of the story somehow. But no, she's just a fucking drama llama for the fun of it, I guess. Like, she is truly a too stupid to live protagonist, and yet I am supposed to root for her? Her arc ends up being about her loving herself, which is a good theme. That's a great theme for a story. But with Kelly, this falls so flat because I don't love her. Her fiance doesn't love her. I don't think anyone loves her because she is unlovable. She's the worst character ever. And honestly, that theme of her realizing she needs to love herself happened so fast. She only has this realization because the book is ending and Bart has to spell out what lesson Kelly has learned instead of just showing us her learning this in the story. Kelly is so needy and desperate and gullible. Worst of all, she is so fucking boring. The first 70 pages are her wondering how she can get Mike back. What's Mike doing? Is he pining for her too? Does he even miss her at all? Surely he misses her. Is Mike gonna fight for her? Doesn't he realize how perfect they are for each other? Why doesn't he love her as much as she loves him? Kelly, I got a few ideas for you. I might know why he didn't fight for you, you fucking freak. See my point about thinking that she would become the villain. And of course, there's some teased out drama around why they broke up and how it's all her fault. And if only she could control herself, obviously he'd still love her. Spoiler alert, she went through his office like a Tasmanian devil as she was looking for evidence that he was cheating on her. Not a great look for her, for sure, but given that he ends up being a killer, I didn't think that her crimes were that bad, my guy. And don't worry, we will get to that reveal, because again, this book is unhinged and wild, but I did not love it in this. So as soon as she gets to her childhood friend's house, which is also a lie, they were not childhood friends. They had some classes together in high school. I beg of you, stop lying to me, jacket cover copies and book blurbs. You can just say that they were high school friends or something, but to make it seem like they were childhood best friends is not accurate. But anyway, as soon as she gets to Sabrina's home, she's snooping and looking through their stuff just because she has to. She can't control this gremlin. I mean, this is what broke up her relationship. But sure, keep doing that shit, Kel. I'm sure that'll get you far. So then we have Kelly being so turned on by both Sabrina, her childhood best friend, and Nathan after talking to them for 5 minutes. There's no slow burn or sidelong glances or her wondering why she feels this way towards Sabrina when it seems she has mostly been attracted to men her entire life. Honestly, the throuple aspect was pretty intriguing and why I picked this read up when I did, because I was like, okay, this kind of sounds pretty interesting. But it's so lazy. She gets to their house and bam, has to be with them. It's not like she met them on a dating site for people who like to swing, so they all know what they're signing up for. She just shows up and wants to be with them. And then the red flags start popping up like daisies. And she's all, I must be imagining things. This can't really be what it is. You know what I'm imagining, Kelly? I'm imagining reading your obituary because you are too stupid to live and you should have died at the end of this. There's a point where they are all fooling around in the hot tub and Nathan holds her head underwater and Sabrina has her arms locked around her. Kelly is thrashing and trying to break free, but then we never get an explanation for why Nathan pushed her head under or why Sabrina was holding her under when it's obvious that she is trying to get free and can't fucking breathe. Were they trying to scare her? We'll never know. It's never explained. And Kelly continues to stay at the house. Yay. I think she's colorblind. I think she sees red flags as green flags because, yikes. So as the story progresses, Kelly finds out that their ex in their old throuple is missing. Isn't that's kind of weird, isn't it? Then there was the hot tub incident. Then Kelly finds out that they film their escapades and then finds evidence that they lied about the last time that they saw their ex. Kelly finds compromising photos of the ex in certain sexy time positions. And then even worse, finds photos of their ex with bruises all over her body. And yet Kelly is all, better stay with my loves. They need me. I'm a better girlfriend than she ever was. Kelly is a moron. I honestly started to wonder, what do Nathan and Sabrina see in her? Like, I could buy into them wanting to spice things up in the bedroom or being open to having an open door marriage. That's cool. And honestly, Kelly seems down to clown. But then Kelly takes it a step too far and says how they're all partners and she loves them. Why? What do you love about them? What do they love about you? You're an energy vampire. Your relationship is built completely on lust and not love. This book is honestly mostly them just hooking up, but then there's a mystery, kind of hanging out in the background. What happened to Elizabeth, their ex? She's missing, and Kelly's already caught them lying about the last time they saw her, as well as the circumstances of her disappearance. They tell her that Elizabeth was fleeing from her abusive ex, and they hope that the ex didn't find her and do something to her. And yet Kelly stays. She's snooping around the house whenever she can to try and find some clues about what happened to Elizabeth because she thinks Nathan and Sabrina might have had something to do with it, but she stays and sleeps with them. So then Kelly goes on a walk one day and meets this woman, Megan, and they both realize that, we're dealing with recent breakups. Megan says hers was bad and that her ex stole her savings and tried to get her fired. Megan seems somewhat like a stage 5 clinger and is always wanting to hang out with Kelly. When Kelly is a cardboard cutout, she's the most boring human being you will ever meet. Why are you trying to hang out with her, Megan? Almost maybe like you have ulterior motives here. Which again, for a normal person, should have set off alarm bells. Who actually wants to hang out with Kelly? Apparently Megan does. So anyway, it is eventually revealed that Megan is a fake name, and she is actually Renee, who is Elizabeth's ex. She's been trying to get close to Kelly and to get inside the house as she thinks Nathan and Sabrina are covering something up tied to Elizabeth's disappearance. She also wants to know what happened to Elizabeth. And again, when Megan said, she had a breakup, Kelly just assumed it was a man. So it is this big thing of oh, you're Elizabeth's girlfriend that she was cheating on with Nathan and Sabrina. And then we have our first kind of, twist. So Elizabeth comes back. Nathan and Sabrina are so happy to see her alive and well, and they promise to keep her safe and hidden from Renee/Megan. Kelly is absolutely beside herself with jealousy and anger. How dare Elizabeth come back? Kelly is their partner now. Elizabeth must be here for bad reasons. Even though there's really no evidence to back that up, she accuses Elizabeth of only coming back to get money out of them. Elizabeth is an interloper and a freeloader. Kelly, you're aware that you're staying there for free too, Do we really want to pull a pot calling the kettle black situation here? Because I don't think we do. I don't think we do, you dumbass. Kelly is seething and hates Elizabeth and needs her gone, now. Elizabeth is a problem, and it's all her fault now that things are weird between Kelly and Nathan and Sabrina. Kelly, boo-boo, I think you did that on your own. But her wish is granted as the next morning, Elizabeth is dead. Elizabeth is dead in Kelly's bed. And that rhymes, so I'm going to take a little drink. But now the mystery. Who would have killed her? It had to be someone in the house. So Nathan rounds up all the phones, locks everyone inside, and he decides, since Elizabeth is still technically considered missing by the police, maybe we just get rid of her body and call a spade here. No one has to know that she was here. They're not calling the police. Also at this time, Kelly finds a sonogram picture while she's snooping through Elizabeth's stuff. shows it to Sabrina, and Sabrina hides it from Nathan as she deduces that he is most likely the father, given how far along Elizabeth is. Now, fortunately for Nathan, their house is right next door to an old cemetery, so they know exactly where to dump her body. But before they can, cart her carcass off, Kelly stumbles across the murder weapon in Nathan's office. He sees her, and they both think the other is the one who offed Elizabeth. Now, he has a gun, they get a tussle, and she ends up shooting him, and Nathan dies. So Kelly and Sabrina then call the cops and rehearse their story that Nathan killed Elizabeth over the news of her pregnancy and then was killed when Kelly acted in self-defense by confronting him. Blah, blah, blah. They get away with the story and Sabrina sells the house and she and Kelly are going to move to New York because they're still a couple. Now, Kelly wants to go back to her apartment with Mike, her fiance, pick up a few things, as well as get closure from him. So she stops by their place. Now, Mike turns into a real asshole and has a meltdown about how Kelly disrespected him and embarrassed him and left him, even though he was the one who said that they needed space and needed time to think about their marriage. But how dare she leave him and be fine with it and move on? She hurt him and she needed to pay. He reveals that actually he was the one who killed Elizabeth. He didn't mean to because he thought it was Kelly in her bed. I mean, me too, my guy. I would want to kill her too because she sucks. So both Elizabeth and Nathan died because of Kelly. Yay, what a fun story. I already hate Kelly. I don't need more reasons to hate her. Nathan wasn't the killer. In their standoff in his office, he thought he'd caught Kelly out as the murderer, same as she thought about him. But this Mike reveal comes out of fucking nowhere. There was no good build-up for it. It reads like a cop-out so that Nathan and Sabrina don't end up being the killers. And he killed her in the office, not even in her bed. She didn't cry out when she was struck in the head. No one heard her fall to the ground. No one heard Mike dragging her body through the house. He killed her and had time to clean it up, and no one heard or saw anything? And it's worse because now Kelly knows the truth and doesn't even let Sabrina in on it. She doesn't tell her that her husband wasn't a ruthless killer. His family and loved ones will always think of him as a killer now. And then we get a stupid epilogue from Elizabeth's perspective. And what do you know? She's not a great person either. She lied about Renee/Megan abusing her. She gave herself the bruises for those Polaroids. She stole money from Megan/Renee, which is why Megan was like, oh yeah, my ex tried to get me fired and stole a bunch of money from me. And she was going to use the pregnancy to continue to get money from Nathan moving forward. She scoffs at how easy it was to steal money from Renee/Megan, which I gotta call shenanigans on. She Venmos herself $10,000, which first of all, Venmo has a $5,000 per transfer limit, and then she jokes about setting up a secret online bank account and says, conveniently, apps aren't great at verifying a client's identity. Stop right there. I worked in banking. There is KYC in the banking industry, which means know your customer and requires financial institutions to collect certain data about their customers to stop fraud and money laundering. There is no way this would have happened. Now, had she written herself a check from Megan's account and it cleared before Megan could figure it out, I understand. But don't try and sit there and say that you were able to do this financial transaction. That wouldn't really happen. But at the same time, whatever, this book is over at this point, so at least I was happy about that. It just sucks because these mysteries had potential, but we didn't really get to them until 225 pages in, and then they're so fast and twisty, but not in a good, I didn't see that coming kind of way. there's no explanation for some of Nathan and Sabrina's like earlier dodgy behavior, like the hot tub incident. We never understand what the hell that was. It's literally a red herring to distract us and make it seem like something sinister is going on when the sinister characters are actually hanging out in the periphery. Mike's reveal is also so random. Throughout the book, Kelly is texting him and talking to him and saying how she begged him to make it work and forgive her. And yet he was the one who wanted her to go. He let her go to Sabrina's house, but then he's furious that she left? It just makes his character such a flat, one-dimensional, nice guy TM. Like, we never saw any hints of this coming from him. And I hate it. I hate it. So, not only was Kelly annoying, the writing style wasn't great either. Similar to how I couldn't avoid my compulsion to count the use of italics in How to End a Love Story, I had to start counting how many similes were used in this book. Guess how many in the first 50 pages? Go ahead. Take a guess. I'm going to take a drink. Guess. It averages to about 1 per page. 45. 45 in the first 50 pages. There are so many similes, and some are just bad. Like, I started writing out how many ones that I absolutely hated. So, no page numbers. These are just ones that, like, I wrote into the script. It popped out of me like a sneeze. Then just a few lines down we have snuffed out like a candle. She blows it away like a dandelion seed. The water is like cold knives. The trees sway like drunk men. When the shutdown descended, like a velvety stage curtain. Darkness is descending quickly, like someone yanked the rope on a stage curtain. What's up with stages? Why are there so many stages in this? Old tombstones stick up like gnarly teeth. Glowing spider webs drip like tears. All thoughts of Mike scatter like napkins on a windy day. Like a hose cranked on. It's like we're magnets. My gut drops like an elevator in a shaft. I sober up on the spot, like a finger snapping. Details line up in my mind like the pins of a lock. My pulses a roar, like waves percussing the sand, like the boomerang roar of a race car careening around a track. The eerie feeling intensifies, whining like microphone feedback. It's sinking into my worldview like a drop of blood in a pail of fresh milk. Shards of sunlight pelt us like hail. Like a slalom skier, she carves the conversation. I sit up and let hope roll around me like wine dregs in a glass. We're not there yet, sweetie. And suddenly, it's clear, like a stereo blaring on. There's also one about an explosion, like a can of spoiled tomato paste that, I guess I don't have a lot of tomato paste, but do they explode? Again, similar to How to End a Love Story. I want monetary compensation for how many similes I had to read. This was just bad. I also really hated how often it would be that Kelly is on the verge of connecting the dots or having an epiphany, but it becomes so drawn out. Kelly will have the glimmer of a thought, a flicker of an idea. There's something there, something nudging her brain. Just get on with it. It is so dramatic and so drawn out. Used once? Fine. But it is always used as she is putting the clues together. I gave this 1 star. I waffled for a bit back and forth between whether this is a 2-star read or a 1-star read. This is a 1-star book. I hated Kelly. I hated the red herrings and fake suspense. I hated the reveals and the twists at the end. This honestly had a ton of potential, but should have either been about Kelly figuring out her own path after having this throuple experience, or the mystery of what happened to Elizabeth. Smashing them together was a very unwise choice. The thriller aspect of this read felt very tacked on and very rushed. It was added so it could be called a sexy thriller. I wasn't thrilled. And even the sexy aspects could be and even the sexy aspects could be kind of glossed over. Like, what was the point? I mostly feel bad for Nathan and Sabrina in the end. Their lives were destroyed. One more so than the other, because one's 6 feet under now, because of the useless, whining protagonist Kelly. Sabrina now has to live with the idea that her husband was a killer when he wasn't. She will continue to have complicated feelings for him for the rest of her life because Kelly won't tell her the truth. Well, I guess maybe not, because at the end she was already starting to date somebody else. So I guess maybe Sabrina doesn't give a shit about Nathan. Maybe I'm the only one who cares about him. Nathan, my guy, I'm so sorry about what happened to you. This could have been good. I think I'm going to stick to Julia Bartz out of the Bartz writing sisters because this made me mad. I expected the writing retreat to make me mad. I ended up enjoying that. I'm going to put this next to her sister's book, but every time I see it, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy about it. But if you do have any recommendations for domestic, sexy thrillers that are actually good, I would absolutely love to hear about them. Please leave your recommendations in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for joining me at Wine Club.